warm welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Tonight on the show, we'll be first exploring the evolving landscape of India's energy sector, followed by a conversation on the furniture rental market. In the first segment, I'll be joined by Sanjay Gupta, CEO, Apollo Green Energy, and in the second segment, we'll be featuring Geetansh Bamania, founder of Rentomojo. I'm now joined live by Mr. Sanjay Gupta, CEO of Apollo Green Energy, who's going to talk to us about the company's strategic priorities in solar, EV infrastructure and green hydrogen, as well as his perspectives on the future of India's energy sector. Thank you for joining us, Sanjay.
Yeah, my pleasure. Please tell me.
So, Sanjay, tell us, India achieved record-breaking solar and wind capacity additions in 2024. How can the country leverage this momentum to elevate the renewable energy sector further in 2025 and beyond?
Please understand why we could achieve these targets last year, because there was a very positive push coming from Government of India. We had clear directives, clear policies, clear targets given, and I would say set by the government, which everybody was asked to pitch in and deliver. The water flows from the top. If that is the kind of target what has been set and everybody is aligned to deliver it, I'm pretty sure the way we as Indians have done last year, we will be able to do it this year also. In addition to this, there is one more important point which helps us in achieving these targets is the entire ecosystem, which is now developed and is geared up to handle these kind of big numbers, in terms of availability of raw material, availability of modules, availability of manpower, realigning of the entire ecosystem, getting adjusted to the overall requirement of delivering these large numbers. So I'm very confident the way India has been doing and delivering in renewable energy space, specifically the solar energy space, the way we have done it in the past, the same momentum is going to be there for many more years to come. So yes, we will be able to achieve this.
Right. So Apollo Green Energy has achieved significant milestones, including over 400 megawatt of solar power projects. So with plans for EV charging stations and green hydrogen production, what are your key priorities in the next 3 to 5 years?
The main push is coming from the government initiatives, So we as an organization have also aligned ourselves so that we are able to deliver or we become part of this growth story. We have really focused ourselves, or I would say realigned ourselves to deliver energy related and green energy related solutions. And within the green energy space also, our main focus will gonna be the solar energy solution. The kind of expectation the government has from players is huge. I would say sky's the limit. If we as organization have the ability to deliver, there is no dearth of work. So if we are focused in the right direction, as I said, since we are targeting green energy solutions, and that too primary focus would be coming from solar, we will be able to keep the same momentum. In addition to this, a lot of new learning is happening in the segment. For example, even solar is a new concept. It was not there 30, 40 years back, or maybe it was at a very small or nascent stage. Today, it is much mature the way we see it. Same goes true with other technologies. For example, we talk about green hydrogen, also green nitrogen, and also for that matter, storage solutions, So we internally are gearing ourselves up so that we are able to address these new technologies or new divisions. And clubbed all together, we are very confident we are able to maintain the kind of momentum what we have achieved last year.
So Sanjay, your goal to achieve a 10,000 crore portfolio by 2025 and to go public signals bold ambitions. How will Apollo Green Energy balance rapid growth with maintaining operational excellence?
There is a big pull coming from the government initiative. That's a force which is driving not only Apollo, in fact, the entire ecosystem. That is one aspect. But then the other aspect is that we are internally gearing ourselves up, so that we are able to deliver these kind of ambitious target in terms of, when I talk about resources to ensure that these targets are achieved, we require financial resources, we require team members, we require mindset, We require adaptation to change and to acquire new skill sets. So these are the enablers which we are trying to build within the organization, so that we are fully adaptive and are able to achieve these kind of numbers.
Now, Sanjay, the PM Surya Ghar, Muft Bijli Yojana and the PM E-Drive schemes are transformative initiatives for the energy and mobility sectors. How do you view their impact on renewable energy adoption and Apollo Green Energy's strategic plans?
We as a country have to very soon move away from the conventional energy, the polluting energy sources, for example, coal or gas, and move into renewable energy segment. So of course, we are trying to help the environment and get more cleaner energies to address our requirement. This is one aspect. The other bigger constraint which comes from the EVs. So the idea is to really ensure that we move from conventional engines to electric vehicles. Now there comes a synergy. We are trying to drive electric energy vehicles which are operating through electric power, and at the same time we are trying to generate power through renewable energy sources. You see, we are able to address the entire value chain, getting the energy converted from sun directly to electricity, using this electricity to fuel my electric vehicles. So what I'm trying to say is that the energy requirement pattern for Indian population is also increasing. So we will always be under a lot of pressure to have good quality energy to meet our population's requirement, which we would like to address from the clean or green energy sources.
Now, Sanjay, with over 3 decades of experience in power and infrastructure sectors, how has your leadership approach evolved over the years? And what is your long-term vision for Apollo Green Energy?
So I'll tell you, everybody is in that learning phase. I started my career with NTPC, typically executing thermal-based projects, coal-based projects. That was the norm of the day at that time. Everybody was pushing it hard. India and China were the two large economies who were trying to push thermal power in a big way. But very soon, we as country realized that we have to start moving away from coal or polluting fuels. And we have in the process learned to adapt and change ourselves. If you talk about me as a person, I've been typically a thermal man, but today we are doing green energy solutions. So that unlearning and relearning is happening. I think the same analogy goes true with organizations. We as Apollo have been doing conventional EPC all along. We have been a 30-year-old company, and we have been doing complex EPC projects, building pipelines, water distribution, electrical distribution, so on and so forth, India and abroad. But today the whole focus is to do renewable energy projects. It doesn't happen overnight. There is a lot of thought process which goes in learning the skills and then relearning new skills. That is the way I feel it is important for us to sustain the ever-changing requirement. People and organizations who are willing to learn and change will probably continue to run the business. That's the way I feel.
And finally, as India approaches critical renewable energy benchmarks in 2025, what major challenges and opportunities do you foresee for the sector?
There are two things which always come as a limiting factor for large things to be implemented at the ground. First is availability of funds. That's the most important thing. And as I said, the entire ecosystem has to work to make sure this is performing, not only in terms of manufacturers or availability of input raw material, but also the financing required to make these projects happen. Our financial institutions have to get aligned to these kind of requirements to make sure adequate funds are available. The kind of ambitious target we as a country has, the kind of fund mobilization will be huge. And if there are roadblocks in that process, these targets will be difficult to achieve. So point number one is the availability of funds and the development of the ecosystem so that funds are available. The second aspect, I think, which is very, very important is availability of the right manpower. You see, we require more hands on the ground to deliver things. We sitting in the boardrooms cannot make projects happen. The projects has to happen at sites. We require teamwork. We require people from engineering side. We require people from procurement side. We require execution guys, the construction guys. So we need to develop institutions, who are focusing or maybe adding in their curriculum more focus towards renewable energy solutions. So I think two major things which we have to really focus and ensure that this is made available so that our overall objectives and goals are achieved. One is availability of funds, and second is availability of technically competent manpower who can deliver things on the ground.
Well, it was great chatting with you, Sanjay. Thank you so much for your time. It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. The spotlight is now on Rentomojo. We'll be discussing the future of the rental economy and subscription-based living. Joining us shortly is Geetansh Bamania, founder of Rentomojo. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show, Geetansh.
My pleasure. Thanks. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So to begin with, Geetansh, a decade ago, furniture and appliance rentals were a perfect fit for urban India's transient lifestyle. How has the market evolved, since you founded Rentomojo back in 2015? Is the furniture rental space still as relevant today?
When I started off the business, back in 2014, 15, the rental market was there in smaller pockets. It was very difficult to convince the market that furniture and appliances as a product category can also be used to can be re-rented over and over again. So when we used to go out to some of our lenders and partners, then we used to say that give us some bit of a capital that we'll be able to use and give them the return back. Nobody used to believe that so well. So I think over the years, the way it has evolved is we have also been able to prove that we can consistently redeploy and re-rent these products over and over again. And with a very high occupancy, we have been able to almost maintain about an 85% occupancy in the last 10 years. That means almost 85% of whatever items that we manage, furniture and appliances that we manage, we are able to generate revenue out of 85% of them all the time. So I think we had two aspects that we wanted to achieve. We had to also make the market, deliver great experience so that more and more number of people are aware of such a proposition, and that resulted in the Google search volumes. B, we also had to educate the market that this is a great asset class that you can bank on. So I think both of them happened in COVID.
So what consumer trends are driving the demand for rental solutions over ownership, especially among urban and mobile customers?
There are largely two factors at play. Even if you look at the EPFO data, there's close to about 9 lakh, folks, those who have joined the workforce, and roughly about 13 lakh people, those who have, switched jobs just in September alone. And if in India we need to grow at 6 to 7% year on year, there'll be 10 crore jobs that will get created, and about 13 crores will switch jobs in the next, by FY30 or so. Because of which, what is happening is two factors are at play. One is whenever these people are, coming in the workforce, they are coming at roughly about 30 to 40,000 rupees a month, which is the average salary of an Indian employee. And, the cost of furnishing in India is almost 6 times of that. So the cost of furnishing an apartment for the average Joe is very difficult. And hence we know that EMI or a credit solution is a very popular industry, and it will continue to grow. The second factor which is at play is because so many jobs are there, as an employee, I have many jobs that I can choose from. So, switching and mobility is also fairly high, which is also evident in, if you look at the employee turnover rate in any of the companies, typically 30 to 35% of the workforce needs to be replaced within a given year, which is the highest across the globe. And also, if you look at the kind of movement which is happening between the states, is also fairly high. It's highest in India. So close to about 30%. So essentially what happens in an economy where the cost of furnishing is fairly difficult, and it's a high flux economy, high mobile economy. You need definitely a white space or a solution which is flexible, which has all the benefits of a EMI, but also has the benefits of subscription, which is the play in and play out. I think that's what rental offers, and that's the kind of trends that we are banking on.
Now, Geetansh, your tech-first approach has been pivotal in Rentomojo's success. Could you share some innovations that have enhanced customer experience and operational efficiency?
Absolutely. At the face of it, this looks like very complex business, because we are managing close to about closer to 2 lakh subscribers, 1.8 lakh subscribers right now, managing close to about more than 6 lakh items all across. And that comes with a little bit of we have the similar complexities of a subscription business in which we need to collect from them every month, recover from them every month, have a very sophisticated risk assessment model. At the same time, we have the same complexities of an e-commerce business managing multiple warehouses, close to about 1,500 laborers, technicians, painters. So it's a very complex business. And without tech, I think we have been nowhere. We have almost 11, 12 touch points that, we go deliver, install, then collect payments, then return the product, relocate, repair, and then refund. So there are multiple touch points. So managing the entire life cycle, and whenever these guys are coming up with the queries, we made our own chatbot, which today automates almost about 85% of the queries which are coming in. Here, the product also comes back and moves within the warehouses. So once the product comes back, how much time it is spending within the warehouse with the repair guy, who's repairing it, etc., etc. You need the entire life cycle management of the item. So all of those aspects is built in-house, and the tech is, proprietary to us, and there are ages of data that we have that we are perfecting these models on.
Okay. Many companies in the rental space seem to be facing challenges with securing funding, and VC interest in general appears to have declined. Has this been the case for Rentomojo as well? If not, how are you navigating financial pressures while staying competitive in an evolving market?
We have, I think, executed and kept our heads down and executed very thoroughly, been very frugal, very data oriented, very innovative mindset. And I think that has really played for us that we are also one of the only entities within the space which has been not only profitable recently, but we have been profitable for almost 3 years now. Because of which, what has happened is, we, in fact, on the contrary, are receiving, a lot of interest. In fact, last year, we raised from ValueQuest and Edelweiss, which are, some of the marquee private equities which are there. In fact, the vote of confidence also came from our existing cap table, where the existing investors doubled down in that round. And in fact, even today, even when the business is generating a decent degree of cash, our current investors, continue to wanting to double down on the business. But because the business is profitable, we're also, kind of eyeing upon, possibly a listing in the future rather than taking primary now. So I think on the contrary, we are receiving, tremendous response from the VC ecosystem.
Now, Rentomojo is playing a significant role in supporting India's circular economy as well. Could you elaborate on how the company integrates sustainability into its business model?
So at the end of the day, this model is a byproduct of circular itself. We kind of help sustainability in 3 ways. One, we are one of the largest refurbishing unit in India today, with about over 1,500 technicians, carpenters, paint tailors. So we have a very sophisticated refurbishing unit in which we are able to elongate the useful life of the product and almost double it. Because of which, what happens is, that helps the environment as such, because you're elongating the useful life of the product. What happens at the end of the second point is what happens at the end of the, useful life is typically that goes to a e-waste. So typically what we do is, by the end of the life, we use the compressor within the washing, fridge, or a pump within the washing machine, and we reutilize it for our products. So that kind of completes the loop and, helps us reduce e-waste altogether. So these are some of the ways we are really, helping sustainability at large.
Geetansh, as someone who has built and scaled a business in a very niche market, what advice would you give to budding entrepreneurs looking to create sustainable and resilient businesses?
So over the years, it's not just that the company grows, but you also grow along with it. So the adaptability is one of the, most important facets when somebody is starting off, that you had to continuously grow yourself. And something that aids on to that is a fine harmony between the personal and professional life. I think, because one can impact the other. It's not about, possibly just doing 90 hours or just 20 hours per week, but it's more about, harmonizing both of them put together. So I think these will be the two, recommendations that I would have.
So as an advocate for subscription-based living, where do you see the rental economy heading in the next 5 years or so? And what role will Rentomojo play in shaping this trend?
Subscription-based product economy is here to last. you would want to see your 100 rupees, transitioning to a 200, 300 in 5 years versus it becoming a 20, 30 rupees. And that's the proponent. And that's, I think, one of the biggest benefits of subscription rental economy at large. Other than, of course, the fact that it not only helps you, be a lot more, a solution which helps you not invest too much into capex, but at the same time being very flexible. I think in the next couple of years, I see subscription rental economy becoming one of the most prominent alternatives to purchase and credit. In the case of furniture and appliances, it's a good 3.5 lakh crore market, and rental will be a decent fraction of that.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for your time, Geetansh. It was good having you on the show today.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.